Hey everyone, I'm Brandon Grasley, and this is Grasley Games. I play games, I open products, and when I open boosters, I read every card in every pack. And again, I have for you a sealed pool, 6 packs that I opened from Amonkhet, and I'm going to go through and see what kind of deck we can make from these. So let me first go through the rares that I have in green, Channeler Initiate, and Harvest Season. In red, I got a foil Soul Scar Mage, which is beautiful and fabulous. Over in blue, Vizier of Many Faces. And up at the top here, Heaven to Earth and Rags to Riches, both though the Aftermath cards, the split cards, and Bounty of the Luxa, which is a very cool enchantment that I like a lot. So let's see what we can put together here. That Bounty of the Luxa is a blue-green card. It gives you either a card draw or extra mana each turn, which is pretty nice, and it costs 4 to get out there. So let's maybe take a look at blue and green first and see if we can make something happen there. So Channeler Initiate is a ramp spell. It's either a big creature or it lets you, you put -1/-1 counters on it and tap it, remove a counter, and to give you mana. So you get mana as you go, and then also you end up with a bigger creature as you go. So that's pretty nice. Harvest Season lets you look for a bunch of basic land cards. So you tap a bunch of creatures down, you play this and get basics. So 2 ramp spells, also a creature. That's actually pretty nice. Both of those cards are great. Ended up with 2 copies of the Trial of Strength, which is a very nice trial. Gives you a 4/2 green beast creature token and Crocodile of the Crossing. So those are all excellent cards so far. I'm happy with the green pile. Let's look at the commons in green. Shed Weakness, nothing too special. Stinging Shot, 3 -1/-1 counters on a flying creature. So it's a 1 mana kind of a kill spell, and it also has cycling of 2. Bitterblade Warrior, you can exert it to give it +1/+0 and Death Touch. So Death Touch only on attack, so it's more likely to get through as a 3/2, but it's not so helpful as a blocker. Dissenter's Deliverance is for destroying artifacts, better in constructed. Now Cartouche of Strength is a really good cartouche. It lets you, one of your creatures, the enchanted creature, fight a target creature that an opponent controls. It gives it +1/+1 and trample. And there's 2 copies of that. So 2 copies of this cartouche along with the 2 Trials of Strength. Both pretty fabulous. I like that. Let me set that Bitterblade Warrior down too. Gift of Paradise is a ramp spell, and it's not a bad one. Pouncing Cheetah is a flash creature. 3/2 is not bad for 3 mana with flash, and so it's also sort of functions as a blocker or a combat trick. Colossipede is a big dumb creature. 5/5 for 5. Fine. Greater Sandworm is pretty interesting. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's a 7/7 with cycling. Green is looking pretty great. I'm happy with that. So out of that pile, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 creatures, a mixture of mana costs and some pretty sweet enchantments there. So lots of enchantments, but we're going to need some more creatures. Let's take a look at that blue now. Vizier of Many Faces is the rare. You can have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, but if it was embalmed, which you can see you can do for 5, then it's a zombie, a white zombie instead. So it comes in as a copy of a creature. It doesn't change into another creature later. Costs 4. Not bad, maybe. Labyrinth Guardian costs 2. It's a 2/3, which is a little above the curve, but if it becomes a target of a spell, you sacrifice it, you can embalm it. Okay, same kind of place as Vizier of Many Faces, I think. Gale Strike lets you return a tapped creature to its owner's hand. It's an instant, so when somebody exerts a creature, you can return it to their hand and then draw a card. So that can slow somebody down. That's some control magic there. Angler Drake costs 6. 4 blue is hard to get out there in a multicolor deck. Flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you can bounce a creature. So 4/4 for 6 with a bounce spell attached. Okay. Cryptic Serpent, again, 5 blue is 7. That's hard. Costs 1 less to cast for instants and sorceries in your graveyard, but we're not going to have tons of those. Not loving it. Okay, into the commons. Seeker of Insight lets you draw a card and discard a card. Loot. Only if you've cast a non-creature. Only if you've cast a non-creature spell. Cartouche of Knowledge. That one's okay. +1/+1 and flying lets you draw a card. Only costs 2. Okay, nice to have another cartouche. If we are in blue-green, we can bounce the trial and use it again. Compelling Argument, no thanks, not really. Scribe of the Mindful's not too bad if you want to get an instant or sorcery back, but we need to have lots to do that. Got to be cycling for that. Don't care for that. This one's quite good. 4 mana to draw 2 cards, or cycle it for 1 and draw 1 card. Even Initiate. Flying 3/2 for 4 with an Embalm. I don't know, maybe. There's a few cards in there that are cool. Maybe it might be worth splashing. Where to go next? Let's look at red. Not by red, I mean white. Renewed Faith, just an uncommon. You gain some life. You can cycle it. If you cycle it, you gain 2 life. Sacred Cat, yes. Cartouche of Solidarity. Yeah. 1 mana, you get a 1/1 warrior, and your creature gets +1/+1 and first strike. That's a pretty good effect. Jeru's Resolve lets you untap a creature and prevent damage that would be dealt to it. So you can save a creature. You can re-exert it the next turn if you want to. It has cycling. Pretty good if you're in an exert deck. Anointer Priest. That's if you have tokens coming in, you get some life. You can embalm it. It's a 1/3, so it's basically a blocker. Impeccable Timing. I don't love Impeccable Timing. Binding Mummy. Fantastic if you have a bunch of mummies, but it is a 2/2 for 2, so that's playable. Those Who Serve is a 2/4 for 3. It's a zombie. Ret Crop Spearmaster becomes a 4/0. Sorry, 4/0. 4/1 with first strike if you exert it. Otherwise, it's a 3/1. Okay, if you're trying to be fast. Tacrop Elite Flying, and all creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn when you exert it. So that's a good go wide card. Sparring Mummy lets you untap a creature, and Supply Caravan's basically a blocker. It's a 3/5 for 5 that gives you a warrior. That doesn't feel super cohesive to me. Let's see, maybe we get something out of black. So, okay, Bone Picker is a fantastic card. Great way to start this color. It costs either 4 or 1, depending on whether a creature's died. Flying Death Touch 3/2. In fact, a 3/2 Flying Death Touch for 4 is not bad on all its own. So Bone Picker is great. Supernatural Stamina. You can give a creature regenerate and +2/+0. Maybe. Doomed Dissenter is a 1/1 for 2 that gives you a zombie when it dies. There's 2 of those. If we end up in zombies, that's good. Miasmic Mummy, zombie. Okay. Okay, another Cartouche. +1/+1 and lifelink. You can put that on any creature, not just black ones, right? So, and you can also use, when that comes in, you put a -1/-1 counter, so you can maybe kill something or at least shrink something. Cursed Minotaur is a great card. Wasteland Scorpion, Death Touch with cycling. Unburden, I don't really care for. Soul Stinger, yeah, I feel pretty good about that one. Horror of the Broken Lands. Haven't really played with this yet. When you cycle or discard a card, it gets +2/+1. I don't know, maybe. I'll put it in the maybe pile. Final Reward, exile target creature. I got 2 of those. One's a foil. Maybe. That's a removal spell, but we have a couple other removal possibilities already. So, there's some stuff there. Let me count the creatures that we had there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's 8 creatures. That's pretty good. Okay, into the red. We have Soulscar Mage. This card's very cool. Costs 1. It's a 1/2 with prowess, so that's already great. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a creature an opponent controls, put that many -1/-1 counters on that creature instead. So non-combat damage, so that would be things like cards with an activated ability or cards with a triggered ability or instants or sorceries, but not combat. So maybe it depends what we kind of want to build around that if we can. So it's also a 1/2 with prowess for 1. If we have any instants and sorceries, that's good. Actually, plus prowess is triggered by things like enchantments. Trial, here's the Trial of Zeal. This one's all right. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player, so it does like a lightning bolt thing. Costs 3, and you get to reuse it if you have a cartouche, and we have a few of those, so maybe. On-Crop Crasher, haste, you can exert so that a creature can't block. It's a 3/2 for 3, not bad. Limits of Solidarity, you get to steal a creature for a turn, untap it, etc. Has cycling, so this is like Active Treason is the card I'm familiar with that does this, and it has a cycling cost of 2. Yeah, maybe 1 copy of that. I wouldn't want more than 1. Destroy X target artifacts. I don't think so, not on this deck. Cartouche of Zeal. Yep. Brute Strength. I don't know. Fling. Maybe. It's kind of, this can be like a finisher, but I wouldn't be using it anywhere else. Pathmaker Initiate. I don't think so. Emberhorn Minotaur. Yeah, I like that card. Look, that feels pretty good. Violent Impact, I don't think so either. Now, we're getting into these couple of cards, this Hyena pack. It's 2 red, a little bit hard to cast. It's a 3/4 for 4. I don't love that card. I mean, I guess if we have to. Manticore the Gauntlet enters with you put a -1/-1 counter on one of your creatures. It could be this one, and it deals 3 damage to an opponent, not to a creature. So maybe that's not bad either. That's a pretty high mana cost card. We don't have a lot of those in red here yet. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, I guess could be like 5 or 6 creatures there. Not brilliant. Okay, back to my green for a minute. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 creatures. I had 8 in black that I was kind of interested in. Red, black here. Pay 2, discard a card, put a -1/-1 counter on a creature. Decimator Beetles in black, green. That card's actually pretty nice. So if we ended up in black, green, I could see that working. We could splash for blue here to possibly get that guy out and get some significant ramp. 3 mana ramp. Start to finish. I don't think we're going to be in white, so we're not going to start, so we won't be able to finish. Rags to Riches. All creatures get -2/-2. We're not going to do the riches part. Is it worth it to have just the rags? I don't know. Heaven to Earth. Heaven deals X damage to each creature with flying. I could see keeping that card in for its green half. In our colorless area, we have Bontu's Monument. Makes your black creatures cost less to cast, so that makes black a little bit nicer. Kefnet's Monument for blue. Probably not. Hone Kopesh, no thank you. Luxor River Shrine, no. Painted Bluffs. Okay, was there anything I could keep out of that green that I had tossed earlier? Could keep a couple Colossipedes. Okay, I think that's where we're going to end up. Let's look at black and green together. So we'll get rid of our red. Okay, black and green. So let's make sure we have our creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, not bad. Throw in a Colossipede for 15, 16. Wow, 3 Colossipedes though. Not loving that. Might have to though. Okay, I'm going to put it in there, but I'm not thrilled. Okay, so what I got? 17. Is that where I am there? 18. Oh, right. I forgot my trials. That's better. My trials of strength give me beasts. Let's get rid of a couple of those Colossipedes. 2 trials of strengths. We're going to kind of count those as pseudo creatures. Okay, cartouche. So we're at 17. If I can get about 6, 7 more cards. There's 6 more right there. 7. Let's call it 8. That brings us up to 24. So we're going to put 16 lands in. We've got a monument there that makes things a little bit cheaper, so that's pretty cool. And we're going to splash a couple of islands to try to get that bounty of the Luxa happening. Okay, I think that's where I ended up. So black and green with a splash of blue to try to make this enchantment happen at least once in a while. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Not super thrilled. I didn't get to use my beautiful Soul Scar Mage, but maybe I made a mistake. Why don't you tell me? You tell me down in the comments below what you would have done with this pool. I would appreciate it very much. And of course, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and get a hold of me on Twitter or Facebook or any of those other places. So thanks a lot, everybody. GG. Talk to you soon.